never live with regrets.
Baltimore, Maryland, founded in 1729, quickly became a vital seaport due to its location on the Patapsco River and the proximity to the Chesapeake Bay. It played a key role in the American Revolution and the War of 1812, most notable during the Battle of Fort McHenry, which inspired Francis Scott Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner. In the 19th century, Baltimore grew as an industrial and transportation hub to shipbuilding, steel, and railroads like the B&O Railroad. The city has a rich African American heritage with icons like Frederick Douglass and Thurgood Marshall rooted there. Despite economic challenges in the 20th century, Baltimore has undergone significant revitalization, particularly along the Inner Harbor, becoming a city known for its cultural diversity, medical institutions, and vibrant neighborhoods. Baltimore is a city rich in history, culture, and resilience. Known as Charm City, it has long been a cultural hub with deep roots in African American heritage, arts, and music. Institutions like the Reginald F. Lewis Museum and Ubi Blake Cultural Center and the world renowned Peabody Institute showcase the city's contributions to literature, jazz, classical music, and more. Its vibrant mural scene, electric neighborhoods, and food culture reflects the diversity and pride of its residents. Demographically, Baltimore has a population of roughly 570,000 people, with African Americans making up 62%, whites making up 30%, and the rest is split among Hispanic, Latino, Asians, and multiracial communities. The city faces social economic challenges, including disparities in education, healthcare, and income, yet it remains a place of strong local identity and grassroots activism, which is rich blend of historic architecture, ethnic enclaves, and academic institutions like Johns Hopkins University. Baltimore continues to evolve while honoring its past. So, as a tourist, there's actually a lot to see in Baltimore, and it's hard just to drill down to just a few attractions. But I'm going to try to narrow it down to six, and this is my nerdy guy view of if you're a tourist and what to see. The first place I recommend is definitely the Inner Harbor. It's the home of the National Aquarium, Maryland Science Center, and historical ships like the USS Constellation. It's definitely a touristy area, and but it's also seen better times. Some of the restaurants were closed down, and you can definitely tell they're still trying to make this the ultimate tourist area. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It's worth walking around, looking at. You can definitely see a lot of the history, so don't miss out on this point. The second place I would recommend is an area called Fells Point. It's that old neighborhood. It still has cobblestones everywhere with old pubs and dive bars and seafood restaurants and with a lot of live music. If you want that old 1600, 1700 feel, that is definitely the area where you want to go. Third, I would recommend Fort McHenry. That's kind of the birthplace of the U.S. national anthem. That's where Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem, and a place I would recommend checking out. The fourth place is the Baltimore Museum of Art. It's notable for its extensive collection of the Henry Matisse collection. If you don't know what Henry Matisse is, you probably wouldn't want to enjoy it, but he his art is very vibrant and full of colors. It actually is pretty neat to look at. So if you're into art, I definitely recommend that. The fifth place that I would recommend is Camden Yards. It's uh it's the beloved ballpark where their Major League Baseball team plays, called the Baltimore Orioles. I would say if you're a ballpark enthusiast, Wrigley Field is probably number one, which is in Chicago. Fenway Park is number two, which is in Boston, and I would say, in my opinion, this is a solid number three ballpark you must check out. And then, of course, the last place, number six, I would say, is the Lexington market. It's one of the oldest, if not the oldest market in the U.S., which is, famous for its crab cakes, and it's a lot of food cooked in there. They will use a lot of Obey seasoning because, Obey was discovered or founded in Baltimore. And yeah, I think you should check that out. I do have a honorable mention. I recommend, if you're there also, you may want to go check out the beer garden, what they call the power plant area. It is very much a touristy area, but you can see that they're trying to remodel it, develop it. I can definitely tell when there's an event going on in town. It's popular, and it's lively, and you'll see a bunch of folks walking around and enjoying it. But when there's nothing going on, it is kind of dead. But it's worth checking out, just to see that the city is really trying to become redevelop itself and become a tourist hotspot. Baltimore, being a major city, will have all the foods that major cities have. Like, it'll have your Asian food, your Latin food, your European food, your African food, and so forth. But when you come to Baltimore, it's only one thing that matter, or one food that matters, and nothing else is even close to it. It's this beautiful blue Maryland crab. This is the only food you need to know about when you come to Baltimore. This beautiful, luscious white meat inside this crab is served and cooked in Obey, which most of the country knows. And once again, I didn't know Obey was actually founded in Baltimore, but it's good to know. It makes a lot of sense. Also, when you're there and you're eating crab, crab can be served a lot of different ways. You can have crab dip, which I had, which was freaking delicious. Then I had blue crab soup, which was awesome. I ate that at night. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. But the number one thing, hands down, without question, you should be eating is crab cakes. I don't know what they put in their crab cakes, but whatever it is delicious. I had two of these, and as you can see from my plate here, I almost forgot to take a photo. I destroyed the first one so quickly, and I started to eat the second one, and I said, "Oh my God, I forgot to take a photo." So I took a photo of food that was almost gone, but their crabs are different there, and you must have their cakes while you're in Baltimore.
Now, I created this new category called report card. And basically, I'm comparing the three cities that I've went to where I live in Tampa. And I created six categories to rank each one. So the lower the score, the better. So we have the six categories, which are education, diversity, job market, food, walkability, and just stuff to do. I did a lot of research to, help me with this because I just didn't want to just pick on how I felt. But I would say between a combination of research and, how I feel, research is probably 80% of the data here, and another 20% is just how I felt while I was at these locations. So, if you look at the first category, the education, Raleigh's ranked number one, and I absolutely agree with that. They just have a higher level of education than everyone else. And diversity, it shocked me that Tampa was number one, but when you look at Tampa's 30% Black, about 30% Latin, 10%, Asian, and then, about, 40% white. And then we have a large population of folks that were born outside the country. It gives Tampa a lot of diversity. Raleigh has the best job market. When you have the highest education, you tend to have the best job market. When it comes to food, Baltimore clearly was number one with food, by far. Walkability, with Baltimore being an old city, almost 300 years old or over 300 years old, they just have better walkability than everyone else. And then just stuff to do. Yeah, Baltimore definitely ranked number one when it comes to stuff to do. And then when you look at the final scores, I call it the GG score or the Grundy guided score. You can make fun of me if you want to, but honestly, I don't care. Baltimore with the lowest score so far is ranked 9. So this is the only with a score of 9 is ranked 1. I should better say that. But this is these scores will change as I continue to update these of the other 7 places I've been to, and I'm interested to see how they would rank. But right now, the GG score gives Baltimore ahead of Raleigh. I would say though, if I was going to pick, other than Tampa, a place to live, I probably would pick Raleigh to live over Baltimore, even though there's, more stuff to do and better walkability and better food. I think at this point in my life, with Raleigh having a nice diversity of people and number one job market and number one education, I'm just kind of tired of living around idiots and dummies, so I would probably choose Raleigh. So my final thoughts on Baltimore is that it's a city that's full of character and history. I get why they call it the Charm City, because you actually do feel pretty comfortable while you're there, and you do see the charm of the city, especially when you're walking in the beautiful inner harbor, or if you are interested in understanding about their maritime heritage. And then they have like vibrant neighborhoods like Fells Point and Patterson Park. Now, yeah, they do have rough areas like the west side of Baltimore, which everyone's familiar with. If you watch the movie The Wire, you're familiar with how that area is. They are trying to make changes, but it's slow. Um, but overall, Baltimore does have that unique blend of like culture, food, and unique fun. And if you're interested in going to historical sites like that Fort McHenry place that's famous for, the Star Spangled Banner, or if you're just interested in eating their famous crab cakes, you'll find that the city has a lot to do and it has a kind of a warm spirit. To me, Baltimore is the perfect destination for travelers, looking for that authentic American city experience with plenty of heart and, plenty of history. Thank you all again for watching. Light Skin out.